we are back with another video. Sorry for the delay. It's a lot. So what we're going to do today, okay, I'm going to give a little announcement. I did get my DNA ancestry results. So I want to go over those results with the people on my Patreon first. So if you are part of my Patreon family, you can hit me up on Patreon right now. You can sign up. It's really cheap. It's like $1, I think, a month. And you will be the first to know. We're going to go over our ancestry results on Patreon. We're going to do that first. And speaking about the ancestry results, it's a person that followed me on YouTube that we are related. So we got to keep you all updated. So if you want to, and we're going to do that tonight. We're going to be going over our ancestry, our DNA ancestry results, and that's going to be tonight. I have been catching up on some much needed sleep. I said, let me catch up on some much needed sleep because I was going up and down the stairs, moving stuff, moving from here, move from there. So I said, let me, take a little break because I know I'm going to be coming back full-fledged with the whole DNA ancestry. We're going to do that on Patreon. And then also we are trying to find out and get everything. So we had to get some sleep. So today we're going to be talking about real estate. So we're going to be having Don Johnson going to be joining us, one of my mentors. We're going to be talking about that. But I do want to say rest in peace to DMX. I know people is all in the chat, talking about this early on, and he passed away. And the thing about it is we have to have conversations about when you are addicted to drugs. And that was a part of his legacy. And a lot of people got mad at me. They were arguing, they were cussing me out in the comments, say, oh, you shouldn't say that. But I said, we should have these conversations that, drugs is a very serious situation. And when you're on drugs or addicted to drugs, especially if you're addicted to crack cocaine, it does something to you, to you. And that's something where we have to have these conversations. So people were saying, hey, we shouldn't have that talk. We should just be saying rest in peace. But for the people that are living and that are battling these drug addictions, you have two choices. You either going to go to jail, or you're going to end up dead. It's when you're addicted to drugs, because it does something to your body. DMX, a lot of his organs was failing and all of that. I don't know when they're going to do like a funeral or when they're going to do like a memorial for him, but I see a lot of people were doing that. I think one of his sisters, I think, came out. They were crying, and it's really, really sad. But tonight on Patreon, I just want to let you all know that, so y'all know we will be going live on Patreon, and that we will be going live on Patreon at 5 o'clock. Okay, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. on the East Coast. So if you're on the East Coast, we're going live at 6 p.m. If you're on the East Coast, we're going live at 6 p.m. If you are Central, that'll be at 5 o'clock. So East Coast, that'll be at 6. So we will be talking about that. So if you are joining us, make sure y'all join us. And somebody just hit me up on here, and that we are related. And I'm looking at it. It was like, let me let y'all listen. The best was like, Marquise Wiley, how the hell we are related? Now I got to come back to YouTube to say hi. Wow. It's somebody that we are related to. And yeah, wow. This person is they say cousin. So we shall see how that's going to go. But if you on Patreon, people, we're going to go live at 6 p.m. East Coast time. So immediately following this live, we will be live over there. Also, too, I did receive my bags. I received my air fryer. I received the bathroom mat. I also received my dishwashing, washing clothes. I received garbage bags and some other stuff that I did receive. So I've been receiving items. So we want to personally thank you so much for sending me items. We're waiting on our guests to call in. Let me make sure I sent him the right number. Okay. Let me see. Okay. I want to make sure we sent him the right number. All right, here we go. We live. Hey. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we're having a conversation about real estate, and that is like a very broad conversation. So I'm gonna let you lead it. First of all, I want to ask you one of my questions that I always want to ask you is, how did you get into real estate? How did you get into the real estate business? Hello.
Well,
Okay.
For the people who don't, my name is Don. You can call me OG. We'll just go by OG on the Wiley Show, because I call myself an opportunity giver. So I'm gonna say OG. So I got in real estate really easily. My brother-in-law was in it, and he was like, I'm seeing all these people flipping houses and all this stuff, and he had a construction background, and I knew nothing about houses. When I say nothing, man, I'm a sporty guy, so I knew nothing about houses and cars, nothing about construction. I couldn't even change a tire until I was 24. So I knew nothing. That was not my realm. And so, but he was like, hey, real estate is a thing. And I kept saying no. Nah, that's not me. I don't know anything about construction, no. He kept asking. You know how it is, the peer pressure builds in, man. And I finally said, yeah. I finally said, okay, let's try it out. Let's try it out. And so when I did, I was just doing the numbers. Because I was good at numbers. I was doing data analyst work, and I've always been good with numbers. Mm-hmm. So I came in evaluating properties and trying to figure out the number we could purchase the properties at. So that was my thing. That was my niche. I was coming in to figure out what's the best investment we can make for property. Well, in doing that, I learned a lot about zoning, code and compliance, and city ordinances. But that's a separate entity as it pertains to real estate, because when you get in real estate, you're taught numbers, and the numbers got to make sense, and you got to look at these comps, and you got to look at what the houses are selling in the neighborhood, but they weren't telling you the ins and outs of real estate. And it all begins and ends with zoning. But that's for something later. But I didn't get in it for that also. But I got in it just for numbers. And the long story short, I was good with numbers. And so I was able to pick out some good properties with a lot of equity. And with that being said, it just for me, that part was like the defining moment for me to say, you know what? I think I'm gonna give this a shot, because I'm doing something I like. I'm dealing with numbers. I'm dealing with people, and I'm actually helping people because I'm educating them on, what you really can do with this property, and how much leverage you have with your property. And a lot of us don't understand that leverage we have with these properties, especially in the neighborhoods that we grew up in. They're transitioning now, and we're old enough to see those neighborhoods turn around. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I got into real estate for that. But getting into it for that reason led me down a whole nother path in real estate. And it's basically what I'm going to bring to you guys today a little bit. It's just basically common sense real estate. I feel like a lot of us, especially in the hoods, and even when you get out the hood, you get into the middle class, or you want to create something for yourself. And the easiest way for us to do it is to buy private property, aka rental properties, right? You rent them out, you get your little income coming in, you build an empire. That's the greatest thing about real estate. Yay. That's not it. You know what I mean? It's a different ball game to this. And my thing is, I want everybody to know that we have an advantage. As the people who grew up in the inner cities, as it pertains to real estate, we have a built-in advantage over everybody. And we are the cheat code. So with that being said, just think about what I'm saying, people. We are the cheat code. We are the cheat code. So What I'm going to do is try to pull out the inner cheat code in everybody when it comes to real estate. That's the easy way for me to explain it. And it's just a common sense way of approaching real estate. We've all seen everything that I'm going to tell you, everything. You just didn't know how to put it in the right words and use the information because you have fragments and pieces. So I'm here to put those pieces together, right? Dispel the fluff that you're going to get from a real estate guru or one of these guys who's going to tell you, oh, you can do this and you can do that. We're just going to get rid of all that stuff because, on face value, the knowledge is good and it's great. But the man is just telling you a whole bunch of stuff. He hasn't showed you how to implement that. And first and foremost, he hasn't showed you how to implement that in your neighborhood. This man came from California, Chicago, New York, somewhere else. Can he really come to Dallas and make you millions of dollars if he's never sold a house in Dallas? Think about it. You know the answer to the question before you got in the seminar. It wasn't posed to you the way I just did. You get what I'm saying? My whole thing is to just create a spark. Bing, spark. I'm gonna give you a different perspective, and hopefully that spark hits ping, and then once it pings in your head, man, you take it from there. But the whole thing is for you to get a spark. The light bulb can't come on without a spark. So I'm just trying to turn your light on, man, but it's gonna start with a spark. And I realize some people don't want their lights on. Some people want that light dim forever. They don't want to seek knowledge. Knowledge ain't for everybody.
I hear you on that. So the main question I think a lot of people was like, should I go and buy a house and flip it? Like, what is that term? Because that's something that you got into, right? When you flipped houses.
Yeah, right. I got into the flipping. I'll tell you this, and I'm looking at the comments, by the way. Yeah, by the way, you guys, I am a realtor also. So if you're in the Dallas-Fort area, you're getting a realtor who's a real estate development consultant. So I am an investor also. I flip houses and I do all those great things, but I want to focus on the realtor side only because this pandemic is about to start. And this thing is going to get crazy. And you're going to need somebody on your team, honestly. You're going to have someone with experience and strategic, detailed tasks that require someone with that knowledge to take care of when it comes to real estate. Like you guys don't, a lot of you guys are going to get into real estate. You guys don't know anything about permitting. You don't know how to go to the city and pull your permits. You don't know the proper channels to go to keep the headache away. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's some of the things somebody like. So with me, just take it from me. I just tell people, man, I've bumped my head a billion times, but I also have had a billion successes, and I also have had a billion perspectives. With those perspectives, give me a different kind of education and experience. I'm looking at it from the inside looking out, and you guys are looking at it from the outside looking in. There's no wrong way to look at it. It's just that you need to know your lane, and it's levels to real estate. And I won't go too deep into this, but I'm going to just kind of explain to some of you people the level of this. So you don't think I'm one of these guys trying to get on here on some guru stuff. No, man, I'm going to bring you guys supreme knowledge. And a lot of the things I'm going to tell you and talk to you about, and these secrets I'm going to give you, can't get me touched. Let's be honest with you. I'm being dead serious with you. So, yeah, but, at this point, I mean, the education, I mean, I'd rather spread it than to die with it, I'm just being real with you guys. Like I'm telling you, a lot of things we don't get into, especially when you guys tune into the podcast. If you guys go and subscribe to the podcast, Real Estate of Mind, I think I did one episode, it's just a pilot episode for Wiley, but I'm going to do a continuation with some of the things I'm telling you in this podcast in this Wiley Show and the podcast, and I'll go in depth a little bit more. I don't want to get too in depth with it on here because I know for a fact YouTube they will censor it. So I want to respect Wiley's platform and get him as many viewers and likes and spread the knowledge like that rather than give you guys supreme knowledge just to have it censored. That makes no sense. So if you guys have any questions and things like that.
So I have one. I will ask you this with the flipping the house. So when you get a house, don't you have to have your credit, or you go into your pocket, or you get investors to flip a house? Like what? Let's talk about that for people that don't know about flipping houses.
Okay. Well, I'll put it to you like this. For the people who are getting into flipping, you have to know what you're looking at, and you have to know how to properly evaluate a house and the value of that house before you even get in real estate. There's 3 things you have to do. And I wrote it down. I'm glad I took all my notes because I'm about to give them to you guys. There's 3 simple things. And I don't make this hard. It's not hard at all. If you want to get into real estate, it really has nothing to do with that money or nothing. Get that out of your mind, man. Money won't solve your problems in real estate. And money is not the beginning of your real estate career. No. You need to educate yourself first. How good is the money if you don't know what to do with it? You know? So I'm telling you guys, if you guys want to get in, the first thing you guys need to do is just 3 things. You got dirty work, you got homework, and you got a test. The dirty work is your cheat sheet. This is all the dirty work you do before you do anything on this property. Before you touch anything, before you touch a lender, before you call anybody. This is the dirty work you do. This is the cheat sheet. The cheat sheet is the foundation of everything. Because remember, if you're using this cheat sheet on the test, this cheat sheet better be correct. Am I wrong or right?
Right, you gotta be correct. Right.
And it has to be detailed, correct?
Absolutely.
Right. So that's why I call it the dirty work. Because this is the shit that people don't want to do in real estate. This is the dirty work, Wiley. This is where you do your due diligence. This is where you do your market analysis. This is where you really evaluate that area in which you're going to flip for the ups and downs, highs and lows. You need to know everything going on in that area. You need to know everything going on in that area. You need to know where the dope houses is. You need to know where the blow house. I'm just being real with you. You need to know where everything and all these things are around this neighborhood, because that will directly affect what you can and can't do in that neighborhood. Remember, the poorer the neighborhood, the more they'll let you get away with. I'll say it again. The poorer the neighborhood, the more they'll let you get away with. But this is the caveat, people. They gonna let your blind ass as an investor get away with all this shit, and then they're gonna come in and change the zoning on you mid-project.
So that's what location. So that's what location. So you find a location. Do you go to the bank or do you use your own money when you flip the house?
This is the key. This is the key about location. Like I said, we're not going to talk about money yet because everybody has a different money situation. So money is so broad because some people have good credit, some people have cash, assets, and some people have credit. And you get what I'm saying? So I'm just taking cash off the table right now. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So before you do anything, you know what I mean? Before you do anything, you have to know what you're looking at and know what you're buying. Okay. Right or wrong?
Right.
Before you do anything. So for example, a lot of these people will listen to one of these gurus, one of these people who come to Dallas, and they'll tell them, the quickest way to get into real estate is use other people's money, and you drive these bad neighborhoods and you look for houses and right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll ask you, and we can ask the audience. So audience, for the people who are in real estate, who are tuning in right now, for the people who are in real estate, who are interested in real estate and following up with like watching YouTube videos or listen to a couple of people or know some people, Tell me, what do you do when you drive for dollars? These are the people who go out and drive neighborhoods, scout neighborhoods to see if there are houses that are worthy enough for them to call and possibly sell the houses to them, right? So in the comments, Wiley, I would like for some of the people to, in the comments, just you know, in the comments, write some of the things that you go and look for when you drive around neighborhoods.
Okay. What
I think about it, Wiley. This is a question for you.
Okay.
This is for you to do. This is extra for me and you. So if we were like, picture yourself in where you from, because think about it like this, people. We have the advantage in real estate. We are the cheat code because we can't properly evaluate properties in the lower income areas.
Okay.
Because remember, the higher income levels are never going to get gentrified. So it's our areas.
Right. I remember we went on, you and your business partner, we went in the neighborhood, and it was something you said, corner the market, where it was like $1 million homes next to like raggedy houses. When it was going, and I guess that's what you call the gentrification. So, and then you was explaining to me.
Right now, I don't want to get too far ahead of the audience right now. We're not gonna explain that, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stay on the no money part right quick.
Okay.
I want to come off topic. All right. So now, this for the people who say, "Oh, we need money." So I have a different perspective when it comes to that. I'm saying you need money. Yeah, you truly you do need money, but money is not the end all be all in real estate.
Okay. So you can't get in real estate with no money down, because these people, they be doing seminars on that, like, oh, you don't need the money, you could just get grants. So so it's so much.
No.
Okay.
Right. No. It's not about grants, but we're gonna talk about that too. It's not about like, okay, I just tell people like this. It's not about the money. It's about the equity in the property. I'll say it again real slow. It's not about the money. It's about the equity in the property. Now, what I mean by that is this. If there's enough equity in that property, it won't even matter how much money you have showing in your account, because the hard money lender can use the equity of that property as leverage in your favor when doing that note with the bank. Because of the amount of equity in it, the hard money lenders can take a chance. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
There's a way around everything, people, man, and it's a way to get that money back. That hard you're gonna put to the table that you bring to the table to a hard money lender too. So remember, I'm the guy who knows zoning, code and compliance, city ordinances. So every gray area and every loophole that the city has created to pigeonhole us, I've created a loophole to pigeonhole them back, because that's my realm, right? So this is beyond constant ARV. And so for the people who are doing real estate, you have to understand that real estate is not constant ARV. Get that shit out your mind. Get it out of your mind. It's not about that. It's never going to be about that. And I'll prove it to you in detail. Just listen to the podcast later on. I'll release it probably around 9 o'clock p.m. tonight. But it just on the face value, all you need is equity in that property. If you have equity in that property, that gives you leverage. At the end of the day, real estate is about leverage. So with that being said, you can kind of negotiate your terms with a lender if there's enough equity in that property. So that's what you got to look for. Now, evaluating and actually finding a house with that equity is the thing that causes so many investors to be up and down in real estate in this realm, because it's the lack thereof, the eye. That's what I call it. You got to develop the eye doing your dirty work.
So with I'm trying to understand. Once you find out that you have equity in the home, you still have to have money to flip the house, right?
No. What I'm saying is, you have to have the money to secure the loan, but
Right.
the money to flip the house will come from the lender. So that'll be a part of the loan structure. For example, I'll give you guys an example of a hard money loan. Okay, so say me and Wiley invest in the property for $100,000, right? We're buying a house for $100,000, and the rehab on this house is $40,000. And when the house resells, it'll sell for, we'll just make up a number. We'll say $185,000. Okay, that's me and that's the deal for me and you, Wiley. We're buying the house for $100,000. It's $40,000 in repairs, and when we finish with this house, we can sell it for $185,000. You got it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's our deal. So I'm asking you, as someone who's never flipped and never been in real estate, how much money do you expect to make from that deal?
Well, you got to minus the repairs, and it. Don't you got to minus the money that you put in there?
Right.
So 180. So 185, and then shouldn't it be 185 minus 40,000?
No, it should be 185. If you're gonna do your numbers, it should be 185 minus 140. Remember, the loan has to cover what we borrow.
Oh, what you borrow.
So
yeah.
we got the house for 100, and we got 40,000 for the rehab.
Right.
So the loan we're getting is for 140, and the house is going to sell for 185. So those are your numbers. Now, how much do you expect to make?
45,000.
Are you sure?
I think so. You said 185, and don't you got to minus the loan that what you got? How much you took out for the loan? 185 minus.
But you're not wrong. What I'm saying, but if you do math, you're right.
Okay, right.
Okay, so this is the part they don't tell you. So if you were to get a hard money lender to fund this property and you had no money, right? And you say, well, I'm using this house as equity, you still have to bring something to the table.
Okay.
So usually with a hard money lender, you're probably going to bring anywhere between 9.9 and 10.5% of the value of that loan. So you're going to bring somewhere between 10 to 14,000 to the table, 14 to 16,000 to the table to execute that loan. You got to minus that, because that's the money you put in out of pocket. You got to minus that from the 45 that you thought you were going to make. You got to minus all the rent and the bills and the utilities you had to take on until you finished that project out of that money, and any other kind of miscellaneous stuff out of that money. And then when you sell that house, you got to take 6% out for realtor fees of that 185 that you're going to sell it for. So really, how much money are you making, Bobby?
Oh, wow. I don't know. Shit. Will you tell me?
I needed some PowerPoint presentation. Well, the people, I wanted this to be a phone interview. I didn't have everything set up. I knew today it was a really, really busy day for me. I was ripping and running all day. And so I had to stop in and give Wiley an interview, man. We had been trying to do this earlier this week.
Right.
But, time didn't permit.
So let me see. So you should. So it's not gonna be the 45,000. So it's gonna be less than that.
No, you're gonna make somewhere in the $23,000 to $26,000 range.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna make that. So what I'm hearing is when you flip house, you can get a loan, hard money loan. You can get a loan.
You can get a loan.
Okay.
And there's a lot. Yeah, I want to keep it vanilla, but there's a lot of different ways to skin a pig.
Okay.
Skin a cat.
So it's many different ways. Because what I'm trying to get in, for me that never heard of this before, I heard of flipping before, but I always thought you have to put your own money up. But that's not always the case. There's other ways to get the money.
Right. You can use private money. You can use gap funding. You can use syndications where you do crowdfunding and you just raise up the funds and you do it. So it's a plenty different ways you can do it. For example, if you got a family of 3 or 4 people or 5 people who want to get in investing, I would tell all of them, man, everybody save up $4,000.
Okay.
That's $20,000 y'all bring it to the table, to the hard money, and then when y'all split the profits 5 ways or 4 ways, I guarantee y'all can make some shit shake. You know what I'm saying? So it's just how you want to do it, man. Like I tell people a lot of times, man, if you don't got the bread to start in real estate straight up, like, and start flipping and do all these great things, I would tell you to start out trying to wholesale some deals. But I'll tell you, don't be a wholesaler. Not to begin the flipping process. And I don't mean don't wholesale. I mean, yeah, you can wholesale deals, but don't go in it with the wholesaler mentality. If you're going to do anything in real estate, you should see everything from the investor's vantage point. That's the point of leverage. That's what these gurus don't tell you guys. They tell, so it's almost like they're teaching you guys to be submissive. You know what I mean? And that's not, that it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. They're telling you from the beginning, as soon as you jump off the porch, which they tell you to do, go out and jump over the cliff and flap your wings and make it happen. But they put you in a position when you jump off the porch, you scared, and you're going to run back to mom and say, nah, the big boys out there too big. You get what I'm saying?
Right. So it's funny you said that. It's about changing your mindset to think like an investor, right? Instead of thinking like a home buyer.
Situation like it.
Right.
For example, if you have anybody in the comment in the chat that's a wholesaler, you have anybody in the chat that's a wholesaler, I would like to just have a quick just back and forth with them about the mentality, because within 2 or 3 questions I can ask a wholesaler. I know exactly what he is, how he is, and what his MO is. So, but that comes with seasoning, man. That just comes with experience. And I'm not saying I'm better or I know more than anybody. I just have a different perspective. Like, I've seen real estate for what it truly is, and like you know why I battled the city of Dallas and won with no lawyer. Right. I'm talking about I made them change a whole neighborhood. I make them change the whole zoning in all neighborhoods when I go in. This is a fact. I'm not bragging anything like that. But if I'm going to step in a neighborhood, man, I'm still big. Right. So they try to stop me for it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm coming on platforms like this. Right. And a lot of people saying they want to see a PowerPoint, they want to show my face. I'll show you guys a lot of pictures, honestly. But the less of my face I show, the more people I can help. Because I know what showing my face did in Dallas, man. They came down on me. And so they just real like I'm not gonna do it that way, man. Like I'm gonna be on some gangster shit and I'm gonna move in silence. Excuse my
because when you with flipping properties, you flip properties, I think, in neighborhoods that typically was neighborhoods where it wasn't getting that much I would say investments in. Would that make sense? That you were in those neighborhoods that typically wasn't getting that much investments or rehab.
See, that's the thing. So, Wiley, you tell me, like, what do you think about the rehab process? Like, well, the flip process. Like, is it like coming into it? Like, honestly, how did you feel about it?
Well, coming into it, I didn't know. I don't know too much about it. What we're learning from you is many different ways to fund it. Because how I was looking at it, that you got to save the money up yourself, and you spend all the money. But there's other ways you can use other people's money to rehab property. So that's what I learned from you. That's what I'm getting at. That you can learn, or you could do what these brothers did. How, I don't know if you heard of these it was about 4 or 5 black people. They raised money to like buy their first investment property. You could do that too. Is that a way like crowdfunding where you get like 5 or 6 people where you could raise some money and do that?
Crowdfund, we could anyway. Like I try to tell people, just try to get as much knowledge as you can behind you before you start investing your money.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because like I tell people, man, like everybody don't got money to just put into something like that for real. Like look at the times and everything is now, man. Like you don't have time, and you don't have to, like I don't have time to take a loss, man. Man, I was telling you, I got scammed by a chick that wanted to do, like, I needed a social media manager. And she scammed me real quick. And I learned real quick, hey, man, like,
wow,
everybody ain't righteous. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I told you. I was like, I had to change everything up, and I had to start protecting my intellectual equity. And that's what I want a lot of other people to do, too. Real estate of mind, that's what it's about. It's real state of mind.
So I want to ask you this question. Being a first-time home buyer, what do your credit score need to be? Because I want to potentially own my own home one day. So what to get a loan? What do your credit score need to be to get a loan to get a house?
Right now, everybody is all these banks and these institutions are giving away properties literally with zero interest and things like that. And it's dangerous. I'll tell you, if I was a homeowner, if I were you guys, I like Deborah Mitchell say, I'm gonna give you $1,000. I'm looking at the comments. I'm gonna give us $1,000 master class later. Oh, no, I'm not. Nah. Hey, Deborah Mitchell, man, I do appreciate it. I tell you what, man, I was giving away the knowledge for $50 in Dallas.
Yes, you was.
I was giving away for $50.
That's how.
Giving away for $50, and guess what? People didn't even evaluate. They said the thing is, I realized the package wasn't full of the bows and ribbons. It wasn't full of bows and ribbons. So because I told people what I told them for $50, everybody got in their feelings and said, "Hey man, they didn't appreciate the product." And a lot of people said, "Man, he should have pushed 500. People would appreciate it." But it wasn't about the money.
It was about educating your people. It's about educating your people about the game of real estate.
Yeah, so it just said, but I like this person said, "Man, stay on topic." What the fuck? Yeah, I grew off topic, man. I'm just all over the place.
Right. I hear you, but what I learned from this is you can get money to lend to you to flip a house, and you really have to know math too, because what I'm noticing, you know how to put all in your head, like how much this property is worth, how much they're gonna sell it. You know what I mean? So there's one thing that you have to be good in math, and you have to understand you can get as many ways to get money to get the property, to flip the property. And then what I was looking at, I'm more so looking at it of being a first-time home buyer, is what is your credit score?
Let me get back on the topic.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I got off the topic on that. I was gonna tell you guys, if you guys are first-time homeowners right now, honestly, I'll tell you guys to wait.
Okay.
And that sounds crazy. I'm telling you guys to wait, because everything is trying to go to shit. I'm telling you guys to wait. Do not get into anything right now if you can't afford it. You don't need to. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Is it because of the pandemic? Is it because of the pandemic? Yes. What? Okay.
Yes. Because of the pandemic. I wouldn't do it. I'm telling you guys, man, the people in Dallas, all over Dallas Fort Worth, when the pandemic first started, man, a lot of these people started selling their houses in fear Armageddon was happening. And then guess what happened? They sold those houses and couldn't find a house to live back in. Now you got a lot of homeowners who have been lifetime homeowners that are living in apartments in Dallas because there's no inventory.
Wow. So
think about it.
What do you think the credit score got to be if you wanted to get a home?
Like, the credit score, if you got a credit score, 630 and up.
Okay,
it don't got to be that high now.
Okay.
Because like I said, like there's a shortage. Remember what happened in 2007. Remember what happened in 2007 and 2000. And the people who are in the mortgage industry could tell you very well. Look at 2007 and y'all look at 2000, the financial bubbles that happened. Pay attention to those. It's the same thing that's happening 13 years later. It's the exact same thing. It's just on a bigger level, on a higher level, only because property values have gone up. But it's the same thing. the middle class is trying to get their ass towed up again.
So you think it's gonna be another crash? Are you predicting that it may be another crash?
I do this. This is what I do, man. I'm telling you, Wiley, everything I'm telling you, and I can tell y'all this directly relates and reflects on some of the bills that's happening, some of the things that's happening, that's being passed in Congress and stuff like that. Man, y'all understand the council culture. The council culture was the catalyst to a lot of things happening in real estate with HUD and FHA and some of the debt relief funds that Biden and all these people are trying to do. It goes way deeper than what I'm saying. And I don't want to get too far into it, but Wiley, I'm telling you, it just you got to realize how things happen in the world to create steps for things to happen. Like zoning in a neighborhood. When they rezone our neighborhoods, when they go and gentrify our neighborhoods, and they rezone our neighborhoods, think about it. And I give everybody this little tip about real estate and how to really play this game of Monopoly, not chess and checkers. I just give you guys this little nugget. I just want y'all to take this perspective when y'all looking at real estate. So every time a neighborhood gets gentrified, it's most likely a poor neighborhood, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so when the poor neighborhoods are getting ready to be transitioned, what happens typically?
Well, you said what happens typically when a poor neighborhood, you start seeing people walking the neighborhood, the investors. You start seeing people you never seen in your neighborhood before.
No.
Oh.
First, you start seeing white money, bro.
Okay. I thought you about to start seeing people knocking at your door. The white investors.
No.
Okay.
No, you start seeing white money.
Okay.
But listen to what I'm saying, because all of a sudden there's a vetted interest to build in our neighborhood when you left it dilapidated for 20 years. You get what I'm saying? Now all of a sudden you want to push economic growth in my neighborhood. Well, when they gentrify our neighborhoods, they're not gentrify for us. Right?
That's right.
So when every time our neighborhoods get gentrified, the white man, or I ain't gonna say the white man, that's anybody, the opportunists with money, most likely they're gonna be white. And they're gonna go in our neighborhoods, jump across our tracks. I'm gonna say that again. They're gonna jump across the tracks, do what they want to do on our side of the track.
Facts.
And then come back on their side of the track. Just like Monopoly.
And I feel that goes on a lot. In Dallas, I went to some neighborhoods.
But the key is, think about this. So when our neighborhoods are getting gentrified, and they come through and they swooping up and buying everything, I'm telling my people, man, fuck our neighborhoods.
Go to the white neighborhood.
All I'm saying is fuck our neighborhoods. Because once that's in place, you got to realize this zoning shit takes 10 years. Once you see that shit, they already 10 years ahead of you. The neighborhood dead, gone to shit at that point. What you fighting for? Because when they build a neighborhood, they kicking your ass out. What you fighting for? But guess what? What we don't understand is when we going through that shit, they going through that shit too.
Right.
Think about that shit. When we going through this shit, they going through this shit too. They just started at a higher level than us. Instead of starting at a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in the hood, that's $80K. They starting at 3-2, that's $180K, in the burbs. But at the end of the day, the struggle is the same. They just got to afford a head start in that regard. But the difference is, and the reason why we can't play Monopoly with them is this, honestly, because when it comes to the poor neighborhoods and when it comes to our neighborhoods, the impoverished neighborhoods, you hear the screams, right? We hear the screams because when it comes to us, it's a less than favorable offer. Am I wrong or right?
Always.
Like we can
right.
You can never get a first shake for our shit, right? And so you always gonna hear shit going on in the poor neighborhoods because the money is loud, because the people are loud, because the people are fed up. And in the rich neighborhoods, you ain't gonna hear shit. They gonna whisper like your nosy ass neighbors. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They can whisper like your nosy ass neighbors. And that's the same thing that goes with their properties too. You ain't gonna know when they going through foreclosure, when they trying to keep up with the Jones. You get what I'm saying? It's gonna be whispers where we're gonna yell. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I hear you.
So we gotta listen. So we gotta listen to these whispers, man. And we gotta jump over the tracks. Because we know outside, we know outside intimately. But they know outside too. But we're not allowed on theirs. We need to start playing Monopoly on their side of the track.
And start using their tricks on to what they do.
But he ain't getting that shit back. They gonna shift your ass to another section of the city. And that's gonna be the new hood.
So
you get what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying. I get what you're saying. It's like use what they do in your neighborhoods and theirs.
Yes, all I'm saying is doing to them as they do to you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That's the key. That's the key. See, they'll tell us all the times, man. These gurus and all these people, they'll tell us, first thing you do is go get a raggedy house and this and that. Every time they go get a regular house, they tell them they're going to our neighborhoods. So our neighborhoods subconsciously or have the negative connotation of raggedy house. Think about it. How can anybody who's not from our neighborhoods or anything like that assess value in our neighborhoods when you think the neighborhood and the people are trash to begin with? How can you come and get that trash treasure? Come on, man. So like I said, man, like I'll just break down this real estate. It's been three things. Your dirty work is your cheat sheet. That's when you're gonna get all. That's your foundation. You know what I'm saying? And so you got to understand what you stand on. You know what I'm saying? And that's your foundation. And that foundation is the education you need on that particular said property. I don't care about anything else, just that property. He said, I can't find this Negro nowhere.
Don't listen to the comments. Damn me. These comments.
All I gotta do is go on Facebook and type in Don Johnson, man. How hard is that?
I told you, see, boom. Beautiful family, by the way. And how I look at it is it's good to have you someone that you can talk to about real estate. And some of the stuff, it go over my head, but I'm like, the more and more you talk about, the more clear it gets. Just like when you have, it was a question that a lady had, and she said she wanted to know about the equity. Now, what is equity, and why is that so important to have that? I always want to ask you.
Equity.
Yeah, because I hear people talk about that a lot. So I'm like, why is that so important?
Equity is the excess value amount that you have. For example, if you have a house, you bought a house for $100,000, and 10 years later it's worth $200,000. You have $100,000 in equity you're working with.
Wow.
So you get what I'm saying?
Yes. It's the value.
So that's the equity you have in the property. So it's after all expenses, what's left over. You know what I mean? And so the more equity you have, the better in any situation. It's just like leverage. With the bank, equity is leverage. Equity equals leverage when you're dealing with a bank, especially when you're flipping houses, because there's nothing more that gets the bankers little ping on hard than a property in the hood with a shitload of value.
Wow. that is something. And can you use that? Can you cash out that? Can you take that out your house and use it as cash?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's what you do. You can do a cash out. You can do a cash out refi loan, and you can cash out that shit. So, but that's something else. I don't want to get too far into it because a lot of people are just getting into real estate. You know what I mean? And
Right.
I don't want to just go off the rails and get into some deep shit. So
Okay.
I just put it to you like that. Just remember that. I want you to come back to that. Please, I want you to come back to that.
I'm put that in my notes.
Because that's gonna be something later we do. But yeah, but it's just, I don't know, man. Like, it's a lot of stuff I wanted to tell you guys. Just I'll save it. You know, I gotta save the content. Like, you know why?
Because he does a podcast.
I'm the guy in Dallas that just give you guys the knowledge for free if you see me.
And he does the podcast. And he talk about.
Well, you know, Spotify. When I first started my podcast, the company I started it with, they were independent, and they started growing bigger and bigger and bigger. And then Spotify bought them out. But when Spotify bought them out, all the content that I used before, it was no longer a part of that deal. So it had to be erased, and I had to start with new content.
Okay. So where now?
Over. Yeah, all those episodes I did, like the episode I did about the step-by-step I did about how to gentrify the suburbs.
Okay.
You know, and and so, but I'm glad, you know, it happened for a reason. So now I can go back and I can do it a little bit better and, you know, tweak it a little bit. But, you know, things like that. But I just want to tell you guys real quick, this is just 3 steps. Step 1 is do your dirty work. And your dirty work is what I call, AKA your cheat sheet. This is your cheat sheet. Like I said, this is your due diligence. This is your market analysis. This is you learning your neighborhood. I don't care about anything else in real estate for a beginner. You need to learn your neighborhood. And I mean the neighborhood that you are most comfortable with. Because if you're most comfortable with that neighborhood, then you will be able to assess true value in that neighborhood. And then that knowledge will trickle down into lesser neighborhoods and then neighborhoods that are evaluated a little bit more than that neighborhood. But you need a baseline. So use the neighborhood that you are the most familiar with as a baseline to learn that neighborhood. And I need you to learn what the owner finance, the people who are like, the people who own the finance, people who rent illegal immigrants. That's owner finance. The owner might say, hey, I'll finance this. You give me 20% down, and you get 10%, blah, 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 blah. You need to know what the seller finance people are doing. You need to know every little thing. You need to know what Section A is going for in that neighborhood. You need to know everything about that neighborhood as it pertains to a property. Because you never know when you get their property, who's going to fund their property and what their property can and will be used for. It's a lot of ways to use a property. A lot of ways. Assisted living. You can do hostels. You can rent room by room. You can do, Airbnb, of course. You can rent them out. You can rent them out for rap videos and shit like that. But for these youngsters, it's crazy the opportunities that are coming up. You can actually rent some of your houses out as an office for certain people that throw office functions and things like that, and they want a backyard and you can't have that setting in an office building. So there's a lot of different ways to do things in real estate with a property. So, I just let you guys know. My job is, like I say, my job is to provide a spark with a different perspective. That's it.
And
That's all I want to do.
We'll drop your podcast in the chat because I have it right here.
Right.
The Real Estate of Minds. I have that. I'm gonna drop that so they can get more information about that. And we definitely got to have you back.
You got to look. First time home honesty, man. I want to go into some things. I'll go into it on the podcast and jokes. I just want to let you guys know 2 things to look for when I do this podcast. I want you guys to look up and understand who the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau is. Remember, Consumer Finance Protection Bureau, CFPB. You guys need to know who that is. You need to know who that organization is, who that government entity is. Now, this is where we're going to dive deep into the knowledge when I get into this podcast. So I'm kind of going to give you guys some things to look for. I just want to give you guys some information. So these are, and if you guys don't know what this is, what they are, They're an agency that creates law and legislation that makes sure banks, follow the rules. And, they make the banks stay firm. So they are the people who directly give us options for mortgage, credit cards, and student loans. I want y'all to think about that. This is the government agency that is responsible for those three factions. Mind you, those are the three things that keep you in debt. That's just a quick little nugget.
So are you actually right now flipping properties right now, or you wait till the season of the pandemic is over?
No, I'll tell you guys, the guys who are flipping, you can flip right now.
All right.
But like I say, if you're going to flip, please know and understand what's going on in that neighborhood before you do. The average flip takes about 78 to 90 days, right? If you got it right, you got the crew right and everything right there. Everybody's, done it, been there, done that. And it's muscle memory at this point. After 2 or 3 flips, you got your crew together. It's going to take you guys about, 78 to 90 days. That's if you got your crew together. If you don't, it'll take you about 6 months. And that's just being real. Anybody in the chat can tell you that. Who's ever flipped a house? If you don't have your shit together, it's probably going to take you about 6 months. Because you're going to bump your head and it's trial and error. So, with that being said, you got 60 to 90. You got those days. What you gonna do? Tell me what you gonna do, bro.
Wow, you got to get it together. You got to know that you. But what I'm hearing from this conversation,
that's what I'm saying. You got 60 to 90 days to get that shit right, right?
Absolutely.
You got 60 to 90 days. Like what I'm saying, like for real. If you got the crew together, you got 60 to 90 days to do that shit right. Because guess what? Every motherfucking quarter, they have those zoning meetings up until the last quarter in November when they vote for it.
Oh, the zoning.
I'm giving y'all game.
Yeah.
I'm giving y'all game.
So the rules change every quarter. Every quarter.
Game. They try to stop me. And so what I got to do is I got to jump behind the scenes, like I told Wiley I'm going to do. Like you guys, like I'm telling you, like I'm going to jump behind the scenes and I'm going to give you guys supreme knowledge. And I don't give a fuck what happens because at this point, man, I'm like, what have I done for the world? Yeah, I flip houses and I spread education and shit like that. That's fine and dandy, but truly, what have I done for the masses? What have I done for my people? I preach all this shit about, being for my people and doing for my people, So.
Somebody have a great question. They wanted to know. They want to know how many houses you flipped.
I flipped about 8 personally. Like I did 5 with other people.
Okay. Wow.
What I do, Wiley, I send you the addresses to the houses I flip, and then you can put them in there, and then they can look at all the designs and stuff. But I do one-on-one design.
Because I saw one of the houses you flipped. Because we went, like I said, we went in the neighborhood, and you was taking me. So that's the house I flipped, and you showed me that. For me, I want to get more information. Like I always try to talk, even though some of the stuff go over my head, but I mean, I just want to get it so it won't go over my head. It just be like, okay, I understand what you're saying. But one big thing is to know what they're doing in the neighborhood with zoning. Like I guess that's the rules.
Right. And what I want to do right now, I don't want to scare your audience, and I don't want to scare the people who are listening.
Okay.
And put some crazy stuff in your brain, but I'm going to read you guys factual articles and things that I've researched about what's going on with the mortgage and the pandemic and, the forbearance and all this craziness that's going to happen. So I'm just going to give you guys a quick observation of what's going on. And I'm going to read for you verbatim. So, and I also send you the link so you can copy the link so they can see it for themselves. And I'm just going to give you an example of what I'll be breaking down and what I'll be talking about, because a lot of these things that I'll be reading to you, I'll read between the lines for the people who don't know what it truly means. You know what I mean?
Okay. And how did you? I want to ask you this question. did you learn from just reading books, or did you learn from trial and error? How did you get educated?
Oh man, I learned from trial and error.
Okay.
Like I was a crazy mofo who got into real estate, and really I really didn't get into it for money.
Okay.
So think about it, like I didn't come with that angle. So I didn't like the things that you would do for money in real estate. I didn't go out there and do them because I didn't give a fuck about it. I was broke and everything. And then like I was balling. But that money part, I knew I didn't have the wherewithal. Like nigga ain't never like really even like balance his account type shit. You know what I mean? Real shit, like educated, but like you don't do that kind of shit. Like have like I'm an educated man, but like I've never really sat down and balanced my fucking checkbook type shit. Have you?
I balanced my checkbook. When the last time? Yeah, I don't even got a checkbook.
That's my whole point. Like, when it comes to like that meticulous detail shit, man, I'm not doing that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like when it comes to like, if I have to do all that to make the money, I'm not doing that shit. I don't care about it like that. Like we're not gonna do that, bro. Like at the end of the day, I just try to vibe with the people who have the same vibe as me, man. And like if you want the knowledge, you want the knowledge. You don't. But like I said, Wiley, I was giving this knowledge away for $50. And the same people who didn't come to the $50 webinar was coming back months later and paying me $2,500. Now I have to act as a real estate consultant, break down the whole deal they did and show them step by step where they fucked up, how they mismanaged the money. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so it just and so now at $50, you would have saved all that shit because you actually skipped the steps I told you not to skip in the $50 damn webinar.
Mm.
So you know what I mean? Just it's stuff like that. So I stopped doing it, man. Like I got people, thousands of people saying, "Oh, I want you to do it. I want to come. 5 people show up, 3 people show up, 2 people show up, and I just started doing it for free. Say fucking, I ain't tripping on the money.
And you
they don't
know,
want the knowledge.
and you know why they do it.
They'd rather give it to one of these white guys. They'd rather give it to one of these white guys in a suit that's on fake and shake and fill their heads up with that fluff shit. And see, because I am who I am, man, I'm a real dude. And you know, my way is unorthodox and it's abstract in a sense. But you know, I don't have to fake and shake with it. You know what I'm saying? So my presentation is not what they want it to be. It's not corporate, and I get it. I don't give a fuck. The knowledge is the knowledge. It's almost like one of them things where, man, Wiley, you know how the message is so clear, but you hate the messenger so much that you never heard the message. So that's what I've got in 7 years in real estate. That's why I'm on my own shit. Because at the end of the day, man, everybody can't see what you see. Everybody don't got the eye.
Right.
I can go in any neighborhood. This is facts, man. I can go in any neighborhood in the United States and break that bitch down to the bare molecule. I'm talking about infiltrate that bitch from within. On some mischievous shit, for real. I can honestly, bro, like, I can lay down the steps on how to go back and take all these motherfucking plantation properties and all these acreage from these motherfuckers. Because remember, I fuck with zoning. I know how to change zoning. Remember, all you need is a spark. And all you need is their greed.
So zoning is the, you have to understand zoning.
Zoning is everything. Put it like this, think about it, Wallace. Think about it, like, I'm gonna go deep into some shit. But I'll put it to you like this. If zoning is not everything and anything in the everything, the alpha and the omega in real estate, answer the grid question for me. Think about the grid. All the power outages in Texas.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Whose power didn't go off? The people who were zoned in the essential areas deemed by the city. So that essential shit y'all heard with the coronavirus and all this shit, Y'all didn't understand what that truly meant. The motherfucking essential people are the people who live on the goddamn pipeline.
We got a question.
And that's the pipeline.
in the
that's
chat.
the pipeline of prosperity.
We have
the railroads, the water tower, the fire station, all the important city government buildings downtown. The people who live on that are the essential motherfuckers in every city. Facts.
We have one question in the chat. Someone said, "Has he ever bought a tax lien on property?" Okay, have you?
No, I've never bought tax lien. And I'll tell you guys another thing. The only properties that I will buy for you guys are properties in the MLS.
And that's
so for you guys who are investing. So for you guys who are investing, you newbies who are investing, man, leave those off-market properties alone. Don't listen to them stupid ass gurus. These are facts. Don't listen to them. I'm telling you, man, like you gotta realize, man, these motherfuckers go city to city acting as disinformation agents via our government. And I ain't even gonna go deep into that shit. And this is facts.
And so the MLS, but don't you have to be a real estate person?
In the hoods with the seminars, bro. You never see them doing seminars in Frisco.
And I went to one.
The military.
The
military come to recruit niggas. They don't go to rich schools. They come to the poor niggas. They feel like the poor niggas need the military to save them.
Right, because I can tell you, me and my grandmother, we went to a seminar, and he said you need $500 or $5,000 to sign up, and they always do it around tax time because they know we get our refund checks and stuff, and they just chew around.
First home tuber. I'm looking at the first home tuber in your notes. I'm a realtor as well, like, and I tell everybody, man, get you a realtor, and get you a property on the MLS. That off-market shit might be appealing and it might be a deal. But guess what? That deal ain't went through the fire. That deal don't got no disclosure attached to it. You buying that shit as is. No disclosures. So the seller can tell you anything. Oh yeah, man, everything's fixed. Ain't shit fixed. But you buying it as is. You buying it as is.
What I want to do now, I want to.
Anybody who's been in real estate in your feed gonna laugh. They're laughing, but they gonna tell you, man, this guy's telling you the truth. I'm telling you, man, when you buy off-market property, anything and everything can be wrong with that property, and that's facts. So what I'm telling you is, I would rather, as an investor, for you newbies and you people who want to get an investment. If I was an investor, what I would do is I would invest in MLS properties. And the number one reason why is because there is a seller's disclosure attached with this property. Meaning the seller has to disclose any and everything that he knowingly knew was wrong with this damn property. Now you got a head start. You get what I'm saying? Now you got a head start.
So with that though, what I want to say easier is to have a real estate agent, is to have somebody that have access to that document, to that database, is what you're saying?
Well, yes. Get someone with an agent. You need to have an agent. You need to have an experienced agent. And see, that's why I would ask a lot of people. I say, man, I know I'm an investor, not flipping everything, and I'm a consultant, and now I'm a realtor, licensed realtor. You know what I'm saying? So, like, how can I best serve my people when, as an investor, I'm the type of investor who will go into the property. And if it's me against another investor, as far as the negotiation for the property, I would almost always beat that other investor. And it has nothing to do with money. But it has everything to do with funneling money and channeling money in different directions.
I'm glad that you brought that point up and about that. And listen, this information you're not going to know everything overnight. It comes with time. And being having somebody like you, I'm so glad that I'm blessed that I can just pick up the phone and call you and say, this is so whenever I do get into flipping, I have a head start. So you can be like, no, that's shitty, or this neighborhood is this, da 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 da. So but I would like to do it, and how I would like to flip, I would like to like stream all my steps into doing this to educate the next person, because a lot of people is visual learners. They learn better by looking on camera or PowerPoint, etc.
So if we can, let's collaborate.
Yeah.
Let's collaborate and create some kind of a webinar.
Yes.
For the viewers.
Yes.
And we can do it that way, man. It ain't nothing for me to give you guys this information, man. And what I do is I want you guys to hold me to it, man, because I just got a lot of stuff going on. But
I'm gonna hold you to it.
Hold me to it. Like, so what I do is I'll come on once a week.
Yeah.
I'll come on once a week, and I'll go live, and it'll be like via webinar or whatever. And what we're trying to do is the people who have deals in the areas of where they're at, we can kind of go over some of those deals, the numbers on some of those deals, and I can kind of explain to you whether that's a good investment or not. You know what I mean? That way. You know what I'm saying?
And someone just posted, did you see that comment on the screen? I don't know if you're watching the stream, but somebody started working in Harris County Appraisal of District. He is right about a lot of things he said. Okay, so some people in here is saying that you're right, brother. All right.
So it just like I say, man, I'm an investor with that perspective. And see, she worked for the county appraisal district, and I guarantee you, she can tell you a lot of investors ain't coming with this mentality. They're not trying to learn. They're not trying to learn the stuff I'm telling you guys about.
Because let me tell y'all, so when Don get on the phone, he be talking because he know what he's talking about, and I don't be doing. I'm like, what, is this man crazy? He just be talking. But it's that I didn't know. I didn't know the information. And sometimes it'd be like, it sounds like, oh, but the more you talk and the more I research, I'm like, man, he's making a lot of sense. And that's why I want to get into it. But I want to make sure that I do it right. So I'm going to pay more attention to your steps. Because I remember the first time when I reached out to you, I wanted to be a wholesaler. Remember that? I wanted to get into wholesaling. And I was watching videos. I'm like, they making a lot of money with wholesaling. And you was
what did I tell you about it?
Oh, well, you was like, would you talk me out of it? Because he said, no, you asked me a question.
I talked you out of it because of the mentality was wrong.
Right.
I said, I don't mind you being a wholesaler about it, but you have to be a wholesaler with an investor's mentality. For example, a lot of wholesalers will do this. Will have fragments of the information, the real information that they need to help a buyer make the right choice into purchasing a property. So sometimes a wholesaler is not experienced as someone who's actually done it before, but they might be good with numbers, but they're not good with evaluating properties. Because a lot of wholesalers have never flipped a house. They've never seen it from the investing side. They just know how to get a house, mark it up, and sell it, which is fine. Make your money. I'm not knocking any kind of hustle in real estate. Do your thing.
Hello?
I was reading the Noonie B. I'm sorry. I was reading the Noonie B across the screen.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I just wanted to see what you were saying. Okay.
I was looking. It just caught my attention. But where was I? I'm sorry. I got.
No, you was talking about wholesaling and about that mentality with wholesaling. And
right.
Like that.
So when you have the wholesaling mentality, it's almost like you have a mentality where you see the person as a dollar sign instead of the person, because you don't care about who funds the deal, how the deal goes about. You're just trying to get your assignment. You're trying to get your money. And so, and a lot of times, a lot of wholesalers, they feast off the ignorance of a lot of newbies, right? Because you don't know these numbers and you just trusting this guy. This guy's experienced in real estate. So this guy's giving you numbers and everything looks good, and you want to look at the property, and he's convinced you that it's not much work to do, and the crummy ass dudes you hired and told you, oh, he can do it for this much, and it's just a whirlwind of shit. And before you know it, before you even touch the property, you 20K in the hole. And you trying to fix this property just to break even type shit. You're not gonna recoup the money you got. You gave a hard money lender. You just gonna recruit the time wasted. That's how this is gonna be sweat equity. Nothing but sweat equity. And that's how a lot of investors learn the first time. I call them John Calipari, Coach K. One and done. They get one flip and they done. They cash out their RAs and 401ks and you know, I want to get into the game. They jump all the way in it just to deal with somebody who gave them all the wrong information. But at the end of the day, it boils down to do your own due diligence. And that's a disclosure and disclaimer that you're going to see on a lot of people's shit. Do your own due diligence. That means do your own homework.
Yeah, do your own
dirty work.
Yeah.
Do your own dirty work.
Yes.
A lot of people don't do the dirty work in real estate. That's why they fuck up, bro. A lot of people just don't do the dirty work. That's what, bro. If you do the dirty work, the easiest thing you can say in real estate is no. The easiest thing you can say in real estate is no. Think about that. Like, for example, this is what a lot of you newbies are going to do. Even after you hear this, this is what a lot of you newbies are going to do. A lot of you newbies are going to manufacture a deal in your head like a dummy. And I mean this. You will get a property or a flip that you perceive to be a flip in your head. These numbers and everything look good, but for some reason it just ain't adding up to what you want it to be. So what your crazy ass try to do is you try to cut corners. Well, I know the electrician budget is $4,000, but I think we can get it done for $3,000. Shave off $1,000. I got the electricity at $5,000. My partner said they probably can get it for $35,000. Take another $1,500. And you'll do that shit throughout, man, and or you know it, you're upside down. And so it costs you nothing to say no. If you double check and triple check these numbers and you got to do all that shit, man, that ain't a good deal. It don't cost you no money to say no. Find the next goddamn house.
And
that's the hardest thing to do, buddy. Real shit. And investing, that's the hardest thing for a motherfucker to do. Excuse my friends. That's the hardest thing for them to do.
Because I think it's because a lot of them come
the hardest thing for them to do.
Due to lack of knowledge.
The hardest thing for a person to do in real estate, Wiley, is to go through the evaluation process where you do all the dirty work. And now you go home and you do the homework and you take the quiz and you pass the quiz. And then when it's time to go take the test, your ass still ain't prepared. The test is actually, you get what I'm saying?
I hear you.
So that's what I'm saying, man. People gotta understand. It's just the way you look at it.
So I said, I also advise people if they can take a home buyers program class. There's some free right now virtually. You can get so much information in the class. And she said also, Nuni said in the chat, this is great information. I wish this knowledge was given out early. We see so many issues after closing due to lack of knowledge.
Okay. And that's my whole thing, man. Like, I came into real estate 7-8 years ago preaching knowledge. And mofos looked at me and like I was crazy. Like, man, what is this man talking about?
I said the same thing. Right.
But what I'm telling you guys, like, before I had mentioned something earlier.
Okay.
And I want to get back on it before I forget. I told you guys I was going to read you some legislation that's on the ballot that's in an attempt to be passed right now. And I'm going to read you guys this legislation, and I'm going to read it real slow, Wiley, and then I want you to listen, and I want your viewers to listen, and then I want you to chime in on it. And then I'm going to just break down what it really means, and it's just going to blow y'all mind. You know what I mean? So this and on the podcast tonight, I'll go deeper into it, but I'm just giving y'all a little sample size of it, okay?
All right.
So I don't want to get her name wrong, but she's a representative. She's a Democrat out of Minnesota. Her name is I think her name is Ilhan Omar, and I'm just gonna read you something that she's reintroducing. And y'all was talking about the economy, and I was telling you guys to just hold up and don't buy anything. So because you guys are unaware of things like this that I'm about to, expose to you guys. This is why people like me, this is why we hide behind the scenes and we're not so loud, because the impact we make and we can make can cause ripples. You get what I'm saying, Wiley?
Mm-hmm. You're right.
You know what ripples happen. And we're dealing with frequencies and energy. What those ripples do. Especially when bad energy is trying to harness your good energy. You know what I mean? But that's something totally different. But I want to read you guys. This is fact. This is what they're trying to do right now. She proposed this for Biden, and Biden came back with a debt relief fund. And I'm gonna just basically explain these things to you guys. These are the things that are happening behind the scenes that you guys have no idea that's happening. But it directly relates to real estate, the crash, and everything that's gonna happen afterwards. So here you go. So basically, the Democrat Ilhan Omar, she reintroduces, hence the word reintroduce. She reintroduces legislation that will cancel and forgive nationwide rent and mortgage payments throughout the coronavirus pandemic. I think that's a great thing. What do you think about that?
I think that's great.
Okay, so as it stands now, many outstanding payments during coronavirus are in forbearance, which are fully owed payments due at a future time. Under Omar's plan, such forbearance will be totally forgiven with no negative impact on credit ratings or rental history. You think that's a great thing?
Yes.
That's a great thing. So remember, under her plan, such forbearance, the forbearance stuff that's going on right now, would be totally forgiven, and there will be no negative impact on your credit rating or your rental history. So everything is great right there, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
that's real major.
Okay, so that sounds great. All right. So do you know about the eviction moratorium? The moratorium, the eviction moratorium. Do you know anything about that? When it's scheduled to expire and all those kind of things, where they're going to make people pay the rent?
When is it going to expire? Because I know they did it extended, right?
Well, he just extended it. Okay, so now, what I just read you about her, that stuff sounds great. But this is what she also did that didn't get reported. She created this is where her wishes are. And this is what they're trying to work on right now. They're trying to create an optional buyout fund to fully finance and purchase private rental properties by nonprofits / public housing authorities / cooperatives / community land trusts / and state or local governments in order to increase the availability of affordable housing during the downturn. Okay? So you got that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's going to get deep now. So you got that, right?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. So now, what that means is this. It means that's the start of the government takeover of private property. That's what that means. And I'm going to explain it to you, how all this began. It started with the counter culture, Wiley. And I told you this in the beginning. It started with the counter culture. So basically you have this. And you got to understand what the counter culture really is. It was really something created to stop the monetization of social media platforms. Because if I cancel you on social media, then I'm taking your money away. Am I wrong or right?
You're right about that.
The only thing that can't be regulated is this money we make online. Am I wrong or right?
You're right.
So when the council culture started, the government purposely supported and campaigning for the council culture. Hence Trump, and that was the beginning of censorship, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now with the council culture, this is what came about. So now you have social media creators like you who are scared to voice their opinion, because if you say something that's unlikely, you could lose monetization. So now, you get what I'm saying?
Right.
So now it allow us to tell on ourselves, and the government, we did the government's job for them. So now we can censor each other. Because that's what the council culture did.
Right.
It allow us to censor each other.
So to get back to your original point, with the laws that Congresswoman is introducing, is to make government get involved into private homes or into renting, into real estate, really.
Right. But you got, yes, but that's the whole key. The whole key is you got to think about it. Now think about it. If we're doing all that and she created this separate entity for where government and private individuals can come and buy your private rental properties, people don't understand what that means. Basically what that means is this. They're going to put mandate and put things in place. And I actually can tell you what it's called. It's called, if you guys can look it up, it's called the Mortgage Servicing COVID-19 Proposed Rule. And it's 4 pages. And it's deep. It's deep.
I don't think it would pass. I don't think Republicans. I think that is.
I'm sorry, say it again.
No, I don't think probably it will pass, because the Republicans not gonna go for that. That's just more government. That's more big government.
I'm gonna tell you why it's gonna pass. I said that in the beginning of the article. I said reintroduce legislation. She tried to introduce this before when Trump was the president and it got shut down. So now that Biden is the president, this shit will go through. And so you got to realize, so if we give all these people forbearance, what is the catch? And I'm going to tell you what the catch is, because this is the part they didn't tell us. So the stuff I read to you is fine and dandy, but this is the part they didn't tell you. The total price of forgiving the loans on rental payments is not known and would likely be enormous. It's also unknown how the legislation would determine the beginning or end of the pandemic, which could stretch for months in. Now, this is the key right here. The announcement of the legislation also did not address how the mortgage-backed securities market may be impacted by a federal program that affects debt obligations. Remember, this is a federal program. Additionally, no market studies were paired with the ramifications of subsidized housing with the legislation announcements. So they telling you, we're gonna do all this shit. We're gonna let all these people forgive them. But guess what? At the end, they're gonna have to pay it. And if they can't pay that shit at the end, we're gonna allow hedge funds, private bankers, private owners to come to and buy their shit. And if they don't abide by rules, then they gonna take it. Private entities. So this is allowing, like I said, this is the same thing that happened in 2008 when Obama bailed everything out. Fannie Mae and all those people. It's the exact same thing happened again. The only thing difference is they're attacking the small business owners with private properties. The people with rental properties is making all this money out of rental properties, and the government can't regulate that money coming in, because you can make money all kind of ways through illegal immigrants and everything else. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So now they can step their ass in and they finna cripple the landowners, because a lot of the landowners that are slumlords who don't give a fuck about their tenants no way, they ain't gonna pay the taxes. Because you gotta realize this shit, with what's going on right now, real estate is gonna shoot up. The market gonna shoot up, the demand gonna shoot up, but the property's gonna shoot down. Landlords gonna get squeezed out. Like I say, landlords gonna get squeezed out. It's the same middle class that getting attacked. It's the middle class that built up some equity and took advantage of 2008, got some houses and everything. Now I'm living large and making money. Government gonna come take that shit right back. They're gonna understand these things as they get passed, man. They not these people in politics, man. They ain't never did nothing for nobody to cover. They ain't gonna never do nothing for you. Ain't no red or blue, man. You shouldn't even see that shit. This shit was built on green. Get your money and get out. All I'm saying is you gotta understand what's being passed. And I'll give y'all another hint. Y'all know the Center of Disease Control owns more property, has confiscated and owns more property than any investment entity during the coronavirus. The Center of Disease Control, people. They have a sub-agency within the government that they work for. So the government created a sub-agency for the Center of Disease Control to confiscate everybody's properties during the pandemic that's going through forbearance. Think about it. I didn't say Fannie Mae. I didn't say Freddie Mac. I said the Center of Disease Control. Look it up. America's New Landlord. That's the topic of the CDC article. I'm giving y'all facts. This is the shit that they hide in front of y'all, man. The Center of Disease Control has bought more property during the pandemic than investors total. How did the Center of Disease Control, how do they own more property than we got? And look how much time that was, 1.5 years, man. Y'all don't think that shit crazy?
Oh, it is.
Y'all better wake up.
Absolutely. And a lot of times people don't be knowing, you know what I'm saying, about, you know, how much the government owns property, about that, and how, you know, a lot of people just don't understand it because they don't do the research. And it's not been taught in school. Do you feel like real estate courses and stuff should be taught in school? Like that should be taught into like high school, elementary school?
No. It'll never be taught in school. It'll never be taught in school. It can't be taught in school.
Oh, okay.
It can't be taught in school. I'm gonna tell you why. Because it goes against the structure of America's education. American education is predicated on you being a worker bee, right?
Right.
So you got to go to school, get a degree, work for somebody else for 30 years and retire. They didn't tell you to get out and do your own shit. They didn't teach you how to do that shit. And if they did, they took them programs out the motherfucking school. Facts. So you get what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but I tell people like this, man, when it comes to real estate shit, I know what I know, and that's my perspective. But I don't knock nobody for not knowing, man. When you don't know, you truly don't know. Because I didn't know. Nobody even bothered to even try to give me any game, man. I had to go in my head till I got stitches type shit. But I'm grateful I went through the process because I can speak to you guys about subjects just like I'm breathing air, man. This shit ain't nothing. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, like, the knowledge is there. I'm happy that Wiley's giving me the platform and a platform, but besides the platforms I'm using, to kind of spread this knowledge to you guys, man, because a lot of you guys needed something like this when you probably started real estate. Because I know I didn't have it. And I tell every young brother and sister that I work with, man, like, I don't want no money from you, bro. I don't want shit. Just spread the knowledge, man. Do for somebody what I did for you, man. I gave you some knowledge and I gave you some game for free. It wasn't even a pimp-up relationship. It was conversation without compensation. You know what I'm saying?
And we definitely got to get you back on the program to speak on this because it's a very in-depth conversation. How can people get in contact with you to subscribe to your podcast? I post your podcast and links, so just let everybody know how they can get in contact with you.
I also got the YouTube channel too.
The YouTube.
Real estate of mine too. I only got one subscriber. I haven't even just been
promoted it.
So busy doing a lot of things. But I'm focused on the real estate now, man. It's just time for me to just lay it out there and give you guys the knowledge and just a different perspective. Like, and it's cool to talk to somebody who knows real estate, and I can relay it in a way to where it's in layman's term, man. It's just simple. I don't have to use a whole bunch of big words and stupid ass acronyms to get a point across. I mean, it's just pointless to me. And a lot of people just say it to kind of like show off the education and the knowledge. I don't care about that. At the end of the day, I can tell you guys the same way I'm explaining real estate, I can explain blockchain and crypto. So it's just how I relate a message. I can relate a message in a way to where you're comfortable talking to me about real estate, because I allow you to let your guard down, because shit, it's almost like an education session. You know what I mean? And you know, iron sharpen iron, man. So shit, like I learned from you guys. Like I'm gonna go back if I can and get all these comments and go through all these comments. And for me, so I can resharpen my mind and my tools, I'll go through and try to answer all of them. You know what I mean? Even though I don't have to, but shit, I feel like this is the stuff I need to know. See, I'm in a need to know basis in real estate. I don't have to know shit. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people in real estate, well, I have to know this and I have to know that. No, you need to know it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a different mindset. Like, don't take the education for granted, man. Like, even if you're messing with a guru and a guy probably can't tell you some of the things that I tell you, or he probably won't relay it the way I can relay it, even though he's going to give you a lot of fluff, it's still going to be some knowledge behind it. And it's going to be his perspective and some of the other perspectives he had in life. But it's not the perspective. You know, and my perspective in real estate is not the perspective. It's just a perspective, you know, a different perspective. Right. Mine is just a little bit abstract. And
so we
nothing wrong.
So he's on Instagram. He's on the podcast. So if anybody want to get up, we will bring him back. And then we have somebody else that want to come on and talk about real estate. They're going to be talking about mortgages and underwrites, about mortgages and stuff like that.
I want to tune into that.
Mortgages guidelines. Like yeah. So I want to thank you now for coming on. Anything else you want to say? Go ahead. And your YouTube. Let me find your YouTube channel so I can put it in the chat.
If any of the viewers are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, if you guys are looking for a realtor or a real estate consultant, please contact me. My number is 469-708-2078. So I'm giving you guys my number.
Post it again. You said 469.
I'm not tripping. It's not a Google number. That's my number.
You said 469.
So if y'all are serious about finding a house, and just having somebody in your corner, man, who, like, for example, like, it's more than just real estate. Like I say, man, like, I'm the guy who's gonna walk the property for you, with you, tell you every place where they cheated. You know what I mean? Everything you can go back and counter for and get this for. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a little bit different. Like when it comes to me, like when it comes to me and a property, especially single family residential, you can't cheat with me. Like you just can't. Like I tell everybody, man, I don't have to do a disclosure with you, man. I'm full disclosure. I don't have to do. I tell everybody I'm full disclosure. I tell you exactly what it is. I don't have to hide anything with a disclosure, none of that shit. What you see is what you get. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't like to operate that in real estate. You know what I'm saying? Because they try to protect.
Can you put your say your number again for the people so I can type it in the chat? You said 469.
Oh, I'll type it in too.
All right. Because I have because I'm gonna type it in 469. You said 469-708-2078.
Yep.
All right. I'll post that in there. So I'm trying to find your YouTube channel. So make sure you comment in the chat so I can find your YouTube channel. Oh, there we go. So that's this YouTube channel right there. So make sure y'all go and subscribe to it right there.
Why you're gonna have to help me out with my YouTube channel?
Oh yeah, I can help you out with it. That's
I gotta know how to. I'm not doing none of this stuff.
Oh yeah, so it's no problem. I can help you out with the YouTube channel.
Some of you guys can help me out.
Definitely.
I also have a fully licensed radio station too. It's like I created my own Spotify, so to speak, or my own version of Pandora, and I'm fully licensed. I made it for independent artists, just artists all over that just want their music played on the radio, and they don't have to go through all the hoops and holler of the radio. So and it's my platform. I own the platform, so it can go down. You can say what you want to say. You can do what you want to do. You can advertise and promote how you want to promote. I'd rather you do your own commercials with your voice. You know what I mean? So when the people listen to the radio, they'll hear you instead of me. So it's a unique platform, man. It's all digital. And that's a platform that I'm going to crypto and blockchain. And I'll tell you guys a little bit more about that stuff later on. But I got some things going on. If you want to reach me, the email is actually inside the podcast. I just did. It's opgive999 OPPGIVE999 @gmail.com. And so I call myself OG. That's what everybody, all the youngsters call me. Everybody around Dallas call me OG. I'm everybody's OG because I guess I'm old and I still look like a kid. Can't grow no damn hair on my face.
I want to know, are you going to be watching WrestleMania tonight?
No. I'm streaming. You know, I'm a wrestling fan. I went to all the damn WrestleManias, but nah. I don't even know. I haven't been keeping up, so I wouldn't even know.
Oh, I watched last night. It was good. So we definitely gotta get you caught back on.
Yes, sir. But I thank everybody who tuned in, man. I really do, truly do thank you guys, man. Like, honestly, all the comments you guys left, I'm gonna go through and read through all those comments, man, and I still be on it. Like, while you're still gonna be on once a month, but you just came on just for this segment.
Yeah, I came on. I'm be coming back on again. I'm gonna definitely come back on again.
Okay. Come on again today. I'll be in the comments, you know, interacting with the audience and stuff like that. So,
all right.
Yeah, but I really do appreciate it, man. Like, I'm truly humbled, honestly. I didn't think this many people would come out or turn out to listen to.
Absolutely. Like that.
Dude, talk about real estate, man.
Oh yeah, they definitely into it. So we definitely got to do it again.
Got some shows in there. Like I laugh, like, you know, you're gonna get trolls and stuff like that, but I always tell these people, like, if you think it's a thing and you know what I'm saying, like, if you don't respect the knowledge and the wisdom, all you gotta do is match me up against any one of your gurus, man. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna eat his ass alive, eat him or alive, like, and there's no disrespect. And I'm gonna do it in the most respectful way possible, but like I'm telling you, man, like, even what I'm telling you now, this shit I'm telling you right now, the stuff I share with the audience is on face value. That ain't shit. I'm telling you, man, like, if that's number one, man, I'm Zeta, you know? And like this ain't about who knows this and who knows that. All I'm saying is this is just a different perspective in real estate that I'm bringing to the table. And I can just help a lot of people. You know what I mean? That's all I want to do is help a lot of people and just, you know, help grow and figure some shit out. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm learning every day like everybody else. Like, trust me, I'm learning from the people in that comment that are leaving comments. I'm learning from them. Resharpening my tools. You get what I'm saying? So I really do appreciate everything, and I thank you guys. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Make sure you send me the link to your YouTube channel because I want to subscribe to it. Do you have the link to your channel? Make sure you send it to me.
Right there, like when I commented, right there, real estate of mine. That's it. I left the comment with my number.
I know, because it's not pulling up on there for them to subscribe to it for some odd reason. Not? Yeah, so send me the link to it if you can.
Okay. Let me do that now. I be forgetting, man. Like, you know, man, I be forgetting all this stuff. You know, I'm getting older, bro. I'm getting older. I don't know what it is, man. I'll be 42, man. I'll be 42 on the 18th, man.
Oh, man. And I'll
42, and I still don't have hair on my face. Okay.
Well, he's gonna.
Somebody's calling me from a 443 number. I don't know who that is. I'm scared to answer. But let me go into this. Let me go into the link so I can send you guys.
All right. Okay. And for the people that just joined, we will be going live on Patreon. So if you are subscribed to Patreon, please subscribe. We're going to be going over our ancestry DNA results. So if you want to join us over there on Patreon, immediately following this live, we will be going live on Patreon, and we will be talking about the DNA ancestry results. So this will be the first. Y'all gonna be the first one to see it over there. So moderators, if y'all can post them on Patreon over there for the people who can do it, because our Patreon is private, so you have to get the URL to subscribe to. It is real cheap. You know, it's under $5 a month. Under $5 a month to be over there on Patreon. So you could join us over there. Okay.
Man, I don't know what I was doing. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry for interrupting you. I think I shared the link. I don't know what I was doing.
All right. Let me see.
I have to get out. I'm on the computer too, but I have to get out.
All right. Okay.
But I don't want to take much of your time. So
then once you get it, I can always share it on my community wall. Because I don't know why it's not pulling up on there. And stuff like that. So just share. Once you share, send it to me in a text, and I'll share it on the community wall.
Okay, cool. Well, right. I appreciate everything, Wiley.
Appreciate it.
I'll be listening.
All right, man. I can't wait to get you back on the show. I need you come on camera so they can stop saying "come on camera."
I know, man. I know a lot of people think you're a scammer when you don't show your face no more. You know? and see, that's the whole thing, man. I'll show my face. I'm not gonna be showing my face every time. I'll show my face enough, but it's not about what I look like, man. Because the more people who see what I look like, it's gonna be harder for me to go to these neighborhoods and help people.
Right. Well. So
I'm not gonna be like, I show my face probably 3 or 4 times a month.
Right.
But I don't want it to be, you know what I mean? Like,
too much, right?
Man, like I'll be traveling, man. Like, I gotta tell you some great things, that's crazy things in real estate that happened in Chicago with some shit that just passed, later on. And but you gonna be like, what the hell? They finna open the floodgates in the shop, bro. You have no idea. We definitely gotta talk about that and everything. All right. But I think Deborah Mitchell, you all right. Tell Deborah Mitchell that she my girl, man. She got a fan in Dunn, man. She got a fan. She be on it. All right, well, why don't you take care?
All right now, bye-bye. Okay. All right. So you guys see us over there on Patreon. I'm nervous because I'm going over this with y'all on Patreon, and y'all gonna see it. So make sure y'all go to our Patreon, subscribe to our Patreon. This is like some good content. I definitely wanted T Trisha 1 to come over there. If T Trisha 1, if you're in the bushes, I would love to see you over there. Because she did an ancestry. So okay, I will see y'all over there. All right. We already got the live set up. Let me send a blast text. So I let everybody know we on Patreon. Let me listen to lives. Okay. All right, I'm gonna send a blast text so people know. All right. See you over there. We will see you over there on Patreon. Okay. I would definitely see you over there. We want to say thank you to Don and for everything like that. Well, if y'all see T Trisha 1, let her know that I want to see her on Patreon because we will be talking about it because she did her. So, all right, y'all. I will see y'all over there on Patreon. All right. Let me get this out of the way. Thank you so much to Don. Thank you, Don, for coming on. We would definitely bring, and then also we have somebody else could be coming on talking about mortgages and stuff. So that will be soon. So we definitely looking forward to. We definitely gonna look forward to that. So we'll see y'all over there on Patreon. Give me a second. We're gonna log out here. All right. There we go. And I will see y'all over there on Patreon. Peace.